Hello and welcome to the Gotham Outsiders. We've replaced the bat signal with a rainbow this month. It's our Pride Special, Part 1. I am your host, Bat Obsessive Chris, and with me is my co-host, TJ.
Hello, everyone. I am your very gay, Chris proclaimed Batman acolyte, and I'm so excited to kick off our Pride celebration. We did a little mini-series this year, and we have some very exciting guests to kick it off.
Absolutely. Our first two guests are Stein and Ted Brandt of comics fame.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
We are well.
It's very hard being comics famous.
Yeah.
People are just falling at your feet every day.
Yeah, you're veterans of DC Pride now.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I guess, Chris, do you want to start off just saying how much we absolutely loved this Connor Hawke story?
Absolutely. This, as an ace person whose only representation last year was like a character in the background, this story was huge. It was, I cried.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, if tears are drawn, I think it's a victory on every level.
Facts.
Yeah, it was just so good. I mean, we just talked about the issue the other day, and I was saying how you guys did such an amazing job last year, of course, and then this year I was like, this story though was just on another level. You could just tell the writing and the art, like it was the stereotypical chef's kiss gift. It was amazing. So job well done.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and so then we have some questions for you to kick that off. How did this story and opportunity come about? Were you approached about coming up with an asexual story in the anthology, or was it your idea and you pitched it? Like, what was that collaboration like?
We were totally approached.
Oh yeah, and specifically for Connor as well.
Oh, nice.
Like, because the editor that we worked with, Andre Shea, then back in December,
something like that. It was at some point late last year.
Yeah, I think it was December. Like, she got in touch with us, just kind of saying, "Hey, so one of the very valid criticisms of DC Pride 2021 was no ace representation. So we want to change that." And I have, a frankly terrifying amount of research to suggest that Connor Hawke is, a really natural fit for this. Would you be interested in doing it?
That's amazing. One of my other questions was, why Connor Hawke? Like, I was curious to know if he was your first pick or how that worked out. But that's so interesting that they had him kind of pre-picked. And it does make sense. Like, he's the one character that I've heard mentioned as, this character should be ace. So that's really cool that they had that picked out.
Yeah, like the choice was 100% Andrea's. Like, all of the story stuff came from us, but the character was definitely pitched at us. Yeah. And
I hadn't actually heard of Connor Hawke before Andrea approached us. And she had this big stack of reading for us. It was like, just blasted through a whole bunch of stories he'd been in, and it's like, oh yeah, this totally makes sense.
So you were given a reading guide. I need this guide because after this story, I'm like, I need to read more Connor Hawke.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, on Twitter, I can't remember which account it was. Did actually do a reading list of Connor stuff when the story came out, and so there are people out there who've compiled really like comprehensive reading lists.
I saw one person, I think, reply to it saying, "This is too much stuff to read."
That's a nice problem to have, though.
Exactly.
We were saying in our other recording how it felt like with this story that DC was listening to us, because last year that was the lack of ace rep was something we were talking about, specifically Chris and Alex, our one guest. And so like with this story, it really felt like, oh, maybe they were listening. This is great. So that's awesome that you both kind of confirmed that they were listening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, we've only really interacted with Andrea about this stuff, but it's very obvious that they really all want to do as good a job as possible. It isn't just being done as a gimmick.
Yeah, that's always nice to hear. So how did you approach writing this character? Connor being one of the first real major characters to be revealed as ace in the DC universe. The way you all described his asexuality was picture perfect. Like, you gave me language I didn't have before. So again, why the story made me cry. How did you go about kind of exploring that and describing it?
Well, it was very personal, particularly for you.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it was kind of all jumbled together in a series of lucky coincidences as we were working things out. Like, because we struggled for a while, like after we'd kind of said yes to the gig, like before we got to the point of, because there was a lengthy, there was a very lengthy, I'm still trying to get this approved, don't do anything yet type phase. So while we were kind of sitting in that phase, then we spent a lot of time like thinking about exactly what the story needed to be in terms of just plot and like what villain it needed and all that. And I mean, originally it was going to have Ollie in it, and it was going to be a much more kind of classic Green Arrow villain. We're thinking like kind of along the lines of Merlin or someone. And then I don't know how we ended up with Music Meister specifically. Like, I know why, but I don't know how.
No, I think we just could like, well, why? But we could try seeing if we could put him in.
Yeah, because I think we just talking about like, what if we're going to swing for the fences with this? What would be our dream pick? And so we decided to give it a shot, and then from there it became a thing of, well, actually that was what unlocked the entire metaphor, because then suddenly we had a sonic control based villain, and we had a setting which also gave us the title, and so everything like kind of fell into place from just that one pick.
So was Music Meister your dream villain?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Like, this is his first like mainstream comic book appearance, and I'm sure you both know that. So like it was such a big deal when they announced that he would be in it, and then actually reading the story and seeing how his powers played into the narrative, like it was just, like I said, on another level. So I was curious about what came first. Like, were you like, oh, I want to use Music Meister because I love him and we can make him canon? Or were you like, oh, his powers would be perfect for this story? Like, how did that kind of shape, in what order?
I think Music Meister came first, and then there was one line in your first draft of the letter. There was it was sort of music based, and then it sort of unlocked the rest of the metaphor for the letter.
Yeah. I mean, we just wanted Music Meister because he's great.
Yeah. And Darren Criss, we love Darren Criss.
Yes.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, we're going off the proper Brave and the Bold Neil Patrick Harris version. Like that's ours. That's the one we love.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, if we can get a chance to bring him into the comics. And amazingly, like, again, because Andrea is wonderful, she went to bat for us and got it cleared through legal and everything. And so there we are. We got to do it.
That's incredible. How exciting. So as fans of DC, what does this story mean to you?
I mean, probably a similar sort of thing to a lot of the Ace people who read it. Like, it's the chance to actually see someone.
Yeah, we never actually expected to be able to do this.
No. But is the same, we get the same thing out of it that everyone who reads it does, which is chance to see something that you recognize on the page.
Oh, that's so incredible.
So what's the next step for Connor? Where would you like to see him go if you had your pick?
I mean, God knows. I want to make that very clear. We are not involved with Connor from here on out. Like,
what?
We would love to be.
All right, we're starting the petition right now.
Yes.
Yeah, we would love to do more, but that is officially us out as far as things are concerned at the moment.
Yeah, we would absolutely we would love to do like a Connor and Damien sort of buddy comedy. They're both the two like you don't have like you've got what's the opposite of the straight man and
the funny man.
So you got the straight man and the funny guy. But you've got two straight men
doing
the very deadpan lines at each other type thing while they're trying to solve mysteries or something. And be.
I thought you were gonna make a straight man ace man joke for a second. We were almost there.
Okay, so we've got to get this petition. I say release the Ted and Roe cut. That's what we need.
I saw at the end of the story, it was like, oh, it continued in Robin. So I really hope they focus on that friendship a lot going forward, at the very least.
And I wanted to ask about that because Damien's one of my favorite characters. What did you kind of think about their friendship? And I guess say a little bit more about getting a chance to show that, even if it was small ways, but like show how much they mean to each other in this story.
Well, I mean, part of our homework for this was we got access to all of the Robin issues before before a lot of them were happening, so that we could see exactly where that was going. Where their relationship was going in there, in order to make sure that we could do something that slotted between Robin issue 12 and the next arc, Robin 15. So it was really useful having that, but it was also just fun. Damien's fun.
Yeah, I agree.
He was he wasn't our suggestion, but he was the perfect choice for that final page, just because.
Well, again, it was another thing. Like, we're never expected to be able to write Damien.
No,
it's like,
I love it.
We're allowed to use Damien in this,
and he's great because he's the epitome of kind, not nice.
Yes,
exactly what you need at certain points.
Yes, I was thinking that exact same thing. The way he's so aggressive in his support, in the classic way of aggressive, like halfway violent in his support.
Yeah,
love it. I love it.
I mean, he was raised on an island of murderers. Like, there's only so polite you're going to be at that point.
Exactly. Yeah, we love our murder baby.
And now the queer DC Comics family seems to keep growing every year. What character would we predict or hope will come out next? Do you have any preferences?
I have no idea.
No idea, but if we're following the pattern, we're going to have to do we're going to have a story with sonic mind control powers, because we've had that 2 years in a row. So
that's a really good point.
So I think we've got the big ones out of the way. So we're going to have to start finding some Z-listers to elevate up.
Looking forward to it.
I was trying to think who has sonic mind powers. Maybe Psycho Pirate's next up, or
if we're going in the convention of because we had Music Monsters kind of not as big a thing as what about Condiment King?
Condiment King.
Oh yes.
Condiment King in the next Pride. We want to see it.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
You were both involved in the new Marvel Voices Pride issue as well, having a hand in creating new queer superheroes. Can you tell us about that as well?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a shock as well.
Because we were going to have a month off in between doing DC Pride, and then there was meant to be another job coming up in May, which has been delayed for reasons. But so we're going to have a month off, but then we got approached by
Sarah Bunstad.
Yes, I'm terrible at names. She saying, "Do you have like time in April? Was it April?
Yeah,
in April to do something for Marvel Voices Pride?" And it was like, "Well, apparently, yes, we do."
Yeah, so that was it, again, shock. It was a shock, but also it was really great to be able to be the people who could do that, because again, a lot of people are very critical about Big Two trans rep, which totally fair.
Yeah.
So it was nice to be able to be part of an effort to correct some of that.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I can't wait for the issue.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's a really fun story, and like it clocks in. Our one clocks in a full 20 pages, so there's plenty.
Oh, nice.
Plenty
Wow.
of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah.
do either of you have any queer media you would like to recommend to our listeners this Pride Month?
Ooh, there's a question.
Oh God.
No
So bad at
pressure.
stuff.
I just want you to add to our rec list so that we can just only watch queer media all month. Watch, listen to, read. Yeah.
The TV show Killjoys.
Oh, that is pretty queer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great outfits.
Yeah.
I need to
Ooh,
watch
okay.
that.
The whole thing is incredible. It's sci-fi bounty hunters in space.
Oh, okay.
And
Adding it right now.
it just gets progressively weirder.
Ooh, you speak my language. Okay.
Yeah, it gets so weird.
And it just has absolutely one of the cutest gay couples in all of media.
Aww.
Not at first, but they grow into it, and they're a wonderful pair.
Oh, okay. That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
you've
sold
got
me.
You've also got one of the scariest gay couples that you'll ever see in media, but they're also kind of fantastic because of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay,
Yeah,
that sounds
you
incredible.
you have a pair of horrifying murder lesbians, and I use horrifying in the most literal sense possible.
It's quite a thing, but
And
you end up rooting for them, and you really want them to have a happy ending. It's just like, what have they turned me into?
And then you've got an ex-warlord bartender who has his delightful himbo boyfriend.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm watching this today. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, so both of those sets come in later on, but it's not hard work to get to that bit. It's very fun.
Okay, I'm down.
And books-wise, then I'm on a yet another reread of the Locked Tomb series by
Tamsin Muir.
Tamsin Muir, thank you.
Oh yes, those are so good.
Is this the Gideon the Ninth?
Yes.
Yeah, those are very good.
Yeah, I'm mildly obsessed. I'm on a
You're like on your fourth read through or something.
Something like that. But yeah, because since Nona the Ninth is coming out in September, so I'm about to reread to make sure that everything's fresh.
Yes.
Also, because
have you done the audiobooks?
Yes.
I know they're very good too. I love that narrator.
I need to actually listen to them because you've got them, and I need to listen to the dang things.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with those books because I will not have an author defeat me. And Tamsin Muir explicitly writes her books not to be understood. She is actively fighting the reader, and that's amazing.
You're gonna crack that code one day, huh?
I'm closer than anyone else I know, I think, based on conversations I've had.
I love it. I love it. You need your own podcast, just cracking the code of those books.
I'm down. I'm like of the 9 houses, I think I can place 6 of them in our solar system.
Incredible.
Oh my gosh.
I love this.
All right. When I'm reading the sequel and I have a question, I know who to DM.
Yeah.
Right.
This is stuff we talk about when we're walking the dog for 5 miles.
I love that.
These really deep dives of what is going on.
Do you have a conspiracy board with like the red string hanging everything together?
I do, but it's exclusively in my brain.
Okay. I love this. Okay, so going a little weird with this question, I feel like you'll be up your alley to do some weird. If you could take one character from someone else's DC Pride story, so not yours, to Pride with you, who would you take and why?
Ooh.
Oh. That's really difficult, honestly, because we're not really big party people.
Okay, it could be like a fringe Pride situation. Like it doesn't have to be the main parade, I guess. Like something more chill. Pride game night.
That's our vibe, definitely.
I had a feeling,
we're into D&D and just I knit. God's sake. I'm not a big
love it. Okay, this whole question is being changed to which DC Pride character do you want to play D&D with then?
And you're knitting a rainbow sweater.
I like
Damien.
We can have that because he's also in another story. So
I love that. I love that idea. I imagine him getting mad and stabbing the board at some point. Just
exactly. He may only be ally, but I think he'd be amazing for D&D. I mean,
I would not want to do it with Kid Quick because they move too fast. They could change the dice.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, you're cheating.
And also, like, Tim Drake, definitely not, because Tim is one of the people who would actually figure out how to win at D&D.
Oh.
What if Tim was like the DM though? That would be great.
Mm.
Or would it be impossible?
Like, I'm pretty sure that Tim would get completely sidetracked and forget that it's all about having a good time and be trying to work out how to make unsolvable puzzles.
Yeah, he just kills the party every time you play.
That sounds like his current relationship too. Hey.
Overthinking is his brand.
I can't think of anyone worse to play D&D with than Tim.
You're right. I can't either.
We are Tim apologists, and even here, we have to agree.
Hey, there's many things he's good at. Imaginary play isn't one of them.
Nope.
Well, Ted and Ro, thank you both so much for joining us once again.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, and where can our listeners find you on social media? And do you have any other projects they should be looking out for?
Not currently.
No, I mean, like, we always take an opportunity to plug Crowded because
Yes.
nowhere near enough people have read Crowded.
Crowded is wonderful.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
we are genuinely really proud of it. It's
More somewhat scary lesbians.
exactly like, I mean, if your listeners need a quick elevator pitch for that, it's a near future sci-fi story about an America upsettingly like the one that currently exists, with the principal difference being
It has a Kickstarter for assassins.
yeah.
I love that.
So, if someone cuts you off in traffic or is horrible to you in the office, you can start a Reaper campaign. And then if one other person agrees to kind of, co-sign it, then it goes live and people have 30 days to try and
kill you.
Or raise the money on it. And the story focuses on
Charlie, who wakes up one day with a $1.2 million bounty on her head.
Charlie's a
terrible pink woman.
Yeah, an absolute disaster bisexual, just the worst person. And she ends up contracting the services of Vita Slatter, a 1.4 star
rated bodyguard.
Yeah, who is very good at her job, but just she's not a people person.
She doesn't like doing the paperwork that comes with the killing of people that are trying to kill her clients. So she tries not to kill people.
And the whole thing is just a delightful survival romp as they try and run down the clock on the Reaper campaign, survive all of America trying to kill them, and possibly more importantly, try to survive each other.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
That sounds so good.
Yeah.
Okay,
it is.
I'm gonna have to check that out too.
Yeah.
I should have by now anyway.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things of everybody who hears it goes, "Oh my god, that sounds amazing! Why haven't we heard of it?" And the answer is always, "We don't know."
Yes, go read it, listeners. You'll love it.
Yeah, so we don't have anything else at the moment that we can plug because everything else is in development, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Being what it is.
Fair enough.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram as Rostein404.
And I'm at 10_bandits, all in words, not numericals.
Thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you both again.
Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having us.
Indeed.